Hi, Jack. Hi, Doc. I couldn't remember, the microphone's on the front of the camera. Yeah, so we're here in Bridgwater, day 2. Been a battle. I think I'm getting thrown with so many obstacles not to do this. Yeah. So, I say day 2, Bridgwater. We've managed to find a closed. It was probably once upon a time a bank, probably. So we've got people. We've got a good area, and there's lots of footfall. Problem is, I don't know if you can hear. That's a lot of noise. So, sorry, I can't see the chat when microphone's on my side. Let's have a little look round.
Stop! Yeah, not much interaction at the moment. But, yeah.
So yes, oh God, the leaflets didn't arrive yet. The banners still haven't arrived. We're not having much luck. What else didn't arrive? Oh, the stickers. I've just found out that there is a delivery that's just arrived at my house now today. So I have to, after we finish this, I've got to go back and get that. Bit of a, I'd say, bit of a tough start. My dad's not well at the moment, so I've got to pop in and quickly see him, make sure that my brother's looking after him and everything's all okay there, hopefully. Yeah, it's a bit awkward because I was meant to be starting work today as well. I was meant to be working in the morning. I was going to try and see if I can get time off in the afternoon, but I was going to try and see if we can drop Lisa and Sam over here and get them to do this by themselves, but it seems like I might as well have done it myself because of this morning. There's not much I can do with my dad. He's comfortable. He's sat there. You know, his arms are aching. He says it's not his heart. His arms are killing him after a heart attack. He says that he doesn't know what to do with his arms. He's got dead arms. So he should be in hospital really, but he won't go. He's been once before. That he went on. I think it was Sunday he went. But he doesn't want to be in there. Yeah, it's a tough time. So anyway, we're here. We've got Lisa's boyfriend's joining us, Sam. So I'm not sure if you can all hear me properly with this sort of engine all going on and that. People seem to be a little bit busy walking past here. Need to try and slow them down. Or just stand in the way and slow them down and go, oh, look at that. Look. Thank you for all you well wishes. Thank you very much. I say I can't really see the chat, but I just noticed one well wish. Thank you very much. I'm sure he'll be okay, but fingers crossed. You know, I mean, we've got to be on the the Isle of Wight, the ferry tonight for the Isle of Wight. That's 10 o'clock tonight. So I've got a lot to do. I've got to I imagine we'll only do a few hours here. There's too much to do. I've got to go back and quickly drop in and see my dad, quickly see any leaflets or banners, anything that's arrived, and then start making my way to the Isle of Wight with or without stickers, banners or leaflets. You know, the show must go on, so to speak. Ties, cable ties. There's a couple in the back, in the bag.
Right, okay.
I think I bought them, so if it comes off again, do that.
Yeah, there's an A2 for that. I'll do flick it to get back on there. I'll put you in best as well, thank you.
So hopefully I'm not buffering. We're in the middle of town, but sometimes in town is not the best area to get a signal. So I've just noticed the amount of people that are walking past that don't actually even see the sign. This is The Walking Dead, zombies. It really is, look. I'm pointing my camera at the banner so that people might take notice and watch as well. Yeah, it's a bit, it's really odd. I mean, we've got a great area here, a lot of footfall. But if you look, not one person's looking at the banner. It's really odd. It's, yeah. Sorry, just looking for something to stick that with. Oh, we've caught a fish.
There may be a lot of misconceptions around the official.
Yeah, hopefully we'll grab some conversations later, but it's quite noisy here. I'll wait till I have a conversation with someone and then I'll invite you in on it. Huh. So Lisa tried to hand a card out and she says, my son's a physicist. So, stop telling lies then. Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking, because we're right at the beginning of, it was the only place that we could find, you know, like, so that we can tie to. Every time there's a little bit of a wind, these banners are like sails and they want to take off, so we have to secure them. So this is at the end of 4th Street in Bridgwater. It's you'd think it'd be a great location. Look how busy it is. Wow, it was dead yesterday in Campton, and we had more luck in Campton. It's really odd, isn't it? Some people are just too busy to get from A to B.
No, I'm a scientist. I just thought it would be very interesting to have a look and see what you're saying.
Well, see, when I was younger, I believed in the globe. I believed in the globe until 3 years ago. That it was real, that exists. But then I started looking for some scientific evidence, and that's where I struggled. I couldn't find proof that the globe exists. I found lots of theories and stories, but I never found any proof. There seems to be an awful lot of people talking about it, but no proof. And I thought, all these scientists and teachers around the world, I thought something was not quite right. You know, that they should have proof for, you know, or let's say the existence of gravity. There should be proof on that. And what gravity, you know yourself being a scientist, what gravity do people support? Was it Sir Isaac Newton's or Einstein's? What gravity do they support? They don't even know, most of the people, that Sir Isaac Newton's gravity was cast away a long time ago, and we believe in relativity now. I thought that was quite odd, that even with Einstein's relativity, the bending of time and space, that it was just a mathematical concept, that we never had any proof with that as well. It was just maths. And I figured that if water must conform to the exterior of a ball right round Earth, what is pulling all this in? And they're saying gravity, but I think we should have some evidence of that, some proof. But where is that?
You don't believe in gravity?
It's like, where is it? I want the proof, I'm an adult.
What is that for?
Density and buoyancy along with electromagnetism. So there you go, that was a scientist. So we just talked about gravity. And there you go. Because I've got an answer for it, totally triggered and bollocks. I hope I got all that properly, because that's a classic video soundbite, isn't it? Video bite. And as I say, I'm an adult. I should be able to demand proof. If I'm to believe in something like a water going around a ball, a spinning ball, if that, I should be entitled to proof of that. And as a scientist, why is he storming off in such a huff?
Looking at the world around me and thinking, no, it doesn't make sense. This isn't right, what I'm shown in school and what I can see. That was when I was a kid at school. And of course, you know, you grow up and you accept it all, because I had nothing else to...
Are you okay if I...
Yeah, because I had nothing else to you know, go against that.
Yeah.
That's all I ever knew.
Yeah.
But what I was being taught in school and what I could see with my eyes at that age, didn't make sense, and I'd question it, but not, that was the limit of it. I didn't know where to take it.
Yeah.
And like you say, Ryan says, about 5 years ago now, when I was online,
Yeah.
and when I saw this documentary, and this guy who I can't remember who he was, just had these fantastic points. And the biggest one for me was the distance,
Yeah.
especially around here, where we live around here, Somerset Levels.
Yeah.
You know, 250 odd square miles of flat ground.
Yeah.
How can you see, you know, across it?
How old did you know?
About 5 years ago, when I come across this little clip, and I thought it was, you know, just another crazy YouTuber, you know. As you do. Go and have a look, see what the crazies are up to.
Yeah.
But I say the guy had some great points that took me back to as a kid. And hang on, I used to question this as a kid. Now I've got something to actually focus on and somewhere to take the questions that I had as a kid. And that was going back, like 40 odd years ago, giving me age away.
But you could never ask these questions, you know, like at school and all that. You'd be cast off as an idiot and, just shut up.
Yeah. Well, and this is my eldest boy, Ryan. I pointed some stuff out to him and you started looking into it. And
it's hard to believe. I mean, like, because when you first look at this, it just seems... This is crazy. This can't be true. This has to be.
I can't laugh at him a little bit.
It really is. I mean, like, I sometimes kick myself and take a deep breath, and I think, no, this is real. This, you know, you've woken up now. This is real.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's I know that some days, especially you do, think, you know, I wish I could go back to just being dumb again.
Oh, because there's this matey on the Matrix, you know, where he says, "Oh, I just want to plug me back into the Matrix. I want to eat real meat."
Yeah.
You know, like, and I think I sometimes think about that.
I can relate to that, because sometimes you find out stuff and you think, you know what, I just don't want to know it. I don't want to know it. But
the thing is, you've gone halfway up the stairs.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what do you do? Do you stop at the stairs? Do you turn back? Or
What?
No, you're carrying on. Now you're there.
You keep going. It does get a little tough some days. And that's what Ryan says. You know, he sees sometimes you've lost 1 or 2 mates over it, haven't you? You don't want to know. He's yeah.
No, that's right. It's difficult because we've been educated, because we're just left school or we're in school and that, and because we've been educated, it really is difficult to listen to anyone else who hasn't got a teacher's suit on or a white coat or something. It's you need that authoritative, oh, he knows what he's talking about.
With my youngest boy, he was, how old was Freddie when we got into it? He must have been 6, 7 years old. I mean, when we started showing him, you know, the truth of what they taught you in school and what the truth actually is, you know. And he was going into school and he was telling his teacher, no, miss, there's flat. And he would take in evidence, but the teacher wouldn't have it. She called me in. Freddie's telling everybody that the world's flat. I said, yeah, it is. You know, research it. It is. It's flat.
Why social services don't want to get involved.
Yeah, but there you go. You know, so
that's the battle. That's the battle. Is just trying to get this into school because they're meant to be teaching alternatives. They're not meant to be because then school is a bit of a cult, isn't it?
Yes. It is when you think of it. When you look back, yeah.
It is.
As in, my wife's a teacher over in a little village near here called Boltonsborough.
Yeah.
And she knows.
Okay.
She knows the truth.
Yeah.
You know, truth of the moon landing.
But you've still got responsibilities and bills
but
and things.
She still has to teach this. But she also teaches. There are people who also think like this.
Yes.
And she'll say there are people who do think the Earth is flat, or there are people who think we didn't land on the moon.
Yeah.
So she's putting it out there for them, but she's not allowed to teach it.
Well, in my local garage, I got approached by a teacher, at our local school, and it was fantastic because he goes, Jason of the Disbury family. Oh God, what's this now? And he said, oh no, I'm a fellow flat earther, and
right,
fantastic. He said, but I can't come out and talk to people. He said, I've got a good job, I've got mortgage, got bills.
Yeah, bills to pay.
Yeah, it's
slave to the system.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good news. Because we were a little bit wondering. It might not be the best place here, but a lot of people seem a little bit zombified. They walk past and they've got their heads down and they're not looking around, or they just can't even see that.
I find it's the world in general these days, isn't it? Too bloody many people are looking down there instead of up there.
That's right.
Or they're in the black mirrors, their phones.
In their phones.
Yeah.
That's the
and
thing.
they miss the whole.
Yeah.
It's like I enjoy walking, especially around here. You know, there's great places to walk around in Somerset.
Yeah.
And I see people going out on walks, and they're walking through the countryside and they've got their head in their phone.
Yeah,
I'm like, look up.
Well, you see it in restaurants, and you see it in going out in the pubs and going on holiday, and they're still looking at their black mirrors.
Well, me and 3 sons, but we went to the pictures one day in Bath. I can't remember what we were watching, and then we went for a pizza afterwards in Pizza Hut. Do you remember this, right? And the couple walked in and they sat on a table opposite us, and they got their phones out and they didn't say a word to each other. They got their phones out and I said to you, do you think them two are texting one another? You're right.
Nice to see you.
You're right.
What was your name?
I'm David. This is Ryan.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, we've been.
Just arrived from London.
Yes.
We just come up, been working. Oh, hold on. There we go.
I'm glad you got some leaflets. Can I have you?
No, you need some. I would have
Because you might say something so fantastic that we think, we just learned something from you or something. But it happens all the time.
At home, we're still waiting for them to arrive today.
Have you seen the Globe Live Euro Tour?
Yeah, we've been keeping a little look at it on Flat Earth 101.
Oh right,
Yeah.
Brilliant, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one of the channels we go on.
I've put that on my t-shirt. I haven't got my t-shirt on today, but 101's on my t-shirt as well.
Yeah.
No, it's great.
So
size.
we watch that, and we also watch. What's the other one? theflatearthchannel.com. That's another one.
Okay.
I find those two are really good.
They're balanced.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Because that's the thing. I mean, I do follow quite a few of them, and I've listed quite a few of them on my T-shirt. You know, like for doing this talk.
Yeah. Jerinism, what's the other one? ODD. Yeah. They're all good, but that's mainly the ones I look at through the Flat Earth 101.
Yeah. The problem is, you can't do it all. There isn't enough hours in the day to do it all.
No. It's like Ryan, he says, you know, I want to do so much, but then I start looking at this stuff, next thing I know, a few hours have gone by, and it's like, well, what have I been doing? I've been sitting there searching this. I need to get out and actually do something in the real world. But you can sit there and get drawn into it and just learn so much. And the time just whizzes by when it's just like, you can't give it up. It's like you say.
Right. And it is a long rabbit hole because you get stuck on one and then you're led on to another.
You go to another, and it's,
Yeah.
I bought myself a P900.
Yeah.
Sat here when I
Oh, that's really good news.
stuff and can't find it.
And what do your family? What do they all think? They all think you're nuts, or are they on your side?
Oh, I don't bother with them.
You're giving up now.
Yeah.
It's hard at first, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the problem is we get all too much information overload at first, and then we can't convey it to other people, and then it comes across a little bit silly, you know, like some of it.
Finding the right level.
Yes.
Finding the right level with everybody.
And we're all excited at first. We think we just found something.
Yeah.
You know, no one else knows. I just found this.
You just want to I've got to get it out. And it's no, you got to. Ryan's very good at that. He's very good at judging people's where they're coming from and how to approach his mates and other people that, you know, call him crazy, your conspiracy theory and all the rest of it. He's very good at getting them to talk to him first, and then he'll show them, you know, when they talk about the International Space Station, he'll say, have you looked at it this way? And he'll give them little snippets of information for them to look at and let them go ahead, and rather than him trying to convince.
Yeah, that's what I've given up on now. I'll talk about it, but I won't convince anyone, because I think if anyone is convinced in 5-10 minutes, the chances are you're going to be convinced the other way in 5 and 10 minutes when your back's turned. So there's no point. All I can do is lead them the way of where the information is.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I don't convince no more.
That's why when I spotted this guy on YouTube, I thought, let's look what this crazy one's got to say. It was just little snippets of what he said. It took me straight back to my childhood, the questions, and I thought, hang on, let's see. And the way he answered them and what he showed, not scientifically, but what he showed with in the real world that we see. You know, and the big one for me was the distance that we see.
Yes.
When you look at the NASA curvature calculations, how come I can see Glastonbury Tor from where I live in Bruton? That's
what Robin here says.
10 miles away.
Yeah.
You know? How come I can stand on a hill where I go walking and on a clear day see Hinkley Point 29, 30 miles away? What? I shouldn't see that.
No, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the maths are for that, but you're right. You are right.
Yeah.
I've got my own areas that I look at and think.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Land that we should see. Just to let you guys know, so you've got Robin here from Liftin The Lid. So if you want to see what's on his camera, see who's chatting to, get over and make sure you subscribe as well. Don't go unless you're going to subscribe. Just subscribe, and you'll see what he's got to offer.
I'm just going to write this. Come into the conversation.
When ships have gone for over hundreds of years, they've never come to the edge.
Well, that's it. We don't think there is an edge. No, we've never said there's an edge. That's mainstream propaganda media. That's all that is. That's where you get that information on. If you go and speak to any globe denier, you'll never see them. No one will ever say that there's an edge.
That's what I'm saying. So if it's flat, there's got to be an edge.
It doesn't have to be, because
Well, it can't be infinite.
Well, we accept that space is infinite.
We accept that.
So why can't land? Now, there's a chap called Admiral E. Byrd. he went to Antarctica. You know, took about 3,500 troops down to Antarctica,
Yeah.
and then he went on. I think they had a plane or something. Went on further to the South Pole. Okay, so when you get to the South Pole, he's in an interview. You can check it on YouTube. It's in black and white. In that interview, he says when he gets to the South Pole, he said there's more land bigger than the size of America. Bigger than the size.
Why didn't he go across further then?
Say that again.
So he didn't carry on any further.
Fuel and thing. Yeah? Fuel.
You know,
he probably had enough fuel just to get
It's
there
the
and
same
back.
thing. You go to the other side of Australia and down. You should be then at the end of it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, look, if you're going to Australia, if you're flying to Australia, okay, a plane going round the ball, he has to dip his nose to go round the ball, and otherwise he's just going to fly off into space.
Yeah.
But they work off gyroscopes, artificial horizon in the plane. They work
Yeah.
off gyroscopes. Gyroscopes are not affected by gravity. That's what Walter Lewin says, physics professor. He says they're rigid in space. He said, but these planes, they fly level, and they stay level all the way to Australia. And they do not dip their nose, and there's nothing in...
Yeah, but that would be because if they're going level, if the world was round and spinning, you'd be able to go level because you'd be coming round to it all the time.
That's just something called that, like the Coriolis effect or something, and then you've got the winds and that, like that.
It would do that effect, wouldn't it? That's what you'd get. If that was going round and you was going there, as it's coming round and you're going level, it will come round and meet you anyway.
Right. Okay. Did you see that the way it would work on a on a flat Earth? Just to give you an idea. Oh, sorry. This is these are the way your maps work. This is a proper globe map. Okay, the Mercator one. So from Sydney, when they're going to Santiago, they go all the way up and then all the way down. But on a flat Earth, it's actually just straight across. So basically, if you're north and I want to go west, and I go, but you're still north and I'm still going west, and that's kind of way north, south, and west. South is in every direction. Okay? There's never been an expedition, you would think there would be, that someone would fly across over the North Pole, right over the South Pole, and come back again. There's never anyone that's flown across.
Navigated the world.
Yeah, lots of times.
Yeah, but they've gone east and west.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. East and west, lots of people have done it, but no one's ever done north and south. Never been done. That's highly suspicious. Of all the explorers in the world, then why haven't they done that? In the north, you can go and see the 24-hour sun. There's loads of video evidence of that.
6 months of the year. Then.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But you can't get the 24-hour sun in the south. It's not there.
Okay.
That's.
Well, therefore, it must be turning then to bring the sun to it.
Say that again.
Therefore, it must be turning.
Well, or the sun is just moving over us.
Going round.
Yeah. It's such a hard thing to, and because of our school and that, when we were at school, we were thrust that globe in front of us, and we said, that's where you live. And none of us ever really questioned it. We were too young for critical thinking. We didn't even know what that was at that age.
That's what you expect.
But you believed it, and it was a given for me up until 3 years ago. But 3 years ago, I started asking for the proof. Where is the proof that we live on a globe? And then they say, there's photographs in space. But then I found out that these photographs, that these aren't photographs, these are images. And the difference between an image and a photograph, you go on to NASA's website, it says that these are composite images. They're just streams of data, and then stitched together. Yeah. Well, I didn't know that. I was convinced that these were all real, but I did think that they were odd, because how they would be so different. It did make me wonder. And then I seen this one. This is from NASA's their own site. It's only 1 year apart, but in 1 year, America shrunk.
Yeah, I see that.
And that's on their site, so why would that happen? I started questioning, I started wanting proof, and then the biggest one is water. 71% of Earth's water always finds its level. Well, that makes sense. Okay, so going around a ball, how would it stick to a ball? Okay, so we all know, without question, without thought, gravity.
Yeah, I did read about your gravity thing there, and I do agree with you there. If gravity is strong enough to hold me to the floor, why doesn't it hold the butterflies?
Okay, so it makes no sense, so when I started realising that, then gravity was just a concept, it was a mathematical concept, and they had no proof of it whatsoever.
Well, yeah.
Alarm bells started ringing at that point, thinking, hang on, have we been taught the right things at school? Because when you got religious education, you were taught so many different ways of believing in God.
Everything falls in the same velocity in the sky anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Doesn't it?
I believe it speeds up.
About 120 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
And that's you, me, the plane, whatever.
Yes,
all
yeah.
falls at the same
Yeah.
speed.
Yeah.
Which is,
But I'm not sure how that would affect on
I
a
think the
flat
heavier
Earth or a
rising-
globe.
I think the heavier rising is quicker.
So, so you know that we, all that is now, things that are falling, is nothing more than density and buoyancy, electromagnetism, relative density, you could argue. But there is no proof of gravity. Satellites in space, how could they be in space? How could they, where's the propulsion to actually keep them? Because remember, everything that's orbiting space is meant to be going so fast so it doesn't drop onto Earth. That's what they're saying. So where's the propulsion for this?
Well, the idea is, isn't it? It's out of Earth's gravity, therefore it can travel.
Okay. So forever? And does it never slow down?
Well, that's it. What is the force outside of that?
So, because if that was the case, they, like, I don't know, rocket ships and all that, they should just burn the fuel up and stop, and then they would just travel. They would just sling, like they just go. But
So therefore, you don't believe in, I suppose, they landed on the moon?
no, I really don't. Have you seen the amount of anomalies that go with that?
I watch a lot of conspiracy theories.
Okay. So what's your gut feeling with the moon landing?
Difficult one. I don't really know.
See, I believed in it wholeheartedly. Space and the moon landing, and I believed in it all. Like, I didn't really follow any conspiracies.
Well, it's only what we were shown. There is no real proof of it. It could have been done in the studio in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Before anybody knows, and that's the thing about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Space.
Well, there you go. So, did you grab a card off?
I did.
Did you get a card as well?
No.
Let me give you a card as well. And, must be careful. Keep trying to give people my bank card. There you go. Grab that. And basically, there's an app there, and it's got videos and questions and all sorts. Like bags of information. All we're saying to the public is, look, whatever you were taught at school, please take it with a pinch of salt and just investigate further.
Then the horizon's the other thing, then, isn't it? If the Earth was flat, you wouldn't have an horizon.
As in, you mean the sun going over the horizon?
Well, yeah, when you look forward, you can only see a distance.
Okay.
And then it does curve.
Well, there was things that I'd learned that I didn't know before Flat Earth. Things of angular, resolution, compression, because obviously the atmosphere is thicker as we get lower down, so therefore it's harder to see through that.
Okay.
So we have this compression layer. Angular resolution, if we get above that, we can actually see further. Not because of the height, but because our angle has increased to actually see further.
Then why, then all these years, have people wanted to believe, or why the scientists and everything wanted to believe the Earth's round? What's the purpose? For what purpose?
Okay, so yes, it is the hardest one because it's the why. It's like you have to. I don't know why he chose a blue shirt today. I'd have to ask him. So I'd have to ask those who have been doing this. I've got ideas. It could be control. It could be money. It could be further land. Some people argue and say, look, they're hiding God. I'm agnostic, so I can't call on that one. But of all the things in the world I don't know, they could be hiding God.
I'm not agnostic and stuff. I believe in a higher force, but I believe that we are aliens.
Oh right, yeah, you're the same as my dad.
We come from that.
Yes, that's what my dad says.
It's easy enough to look at the pyramids and see what they described as gods.
See-
Huge people that came from space.
Well, see, I kind of believed in the aliens a while ago, but then now I kind of think, well, if there is more lands and infinite lands and land goes on further, that could basically be our aliens.
Well, yeah. I mean, you've only got to look at history from where we was at one stage, and within that period of time, we're nothing to something, and then that disappears, and then again we're nothing for a while, and then within 100 years we went from shoving children up chimneys to putting something on the moon, supposedly.
That's the way my dad says that.
You know, and
so it's a bit weird, isn't it?
You know, where does that come from?
Yes.
You can't just have super intelligent people out of the human race.
Yes.
That's where the alien bit comes in.
Yeah.
The mixture. Look at the things the Nazis were doing. They had flying saucers.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Have you come across, if you're into your conspiracies, like the Tartarians and mud floods and
and
you've looked at some of that?
Killing people off and stuff is where the wars and stuff is to get rid of where things went wrong and let's wipe out so much.
Reset, start again.
It and try again.
Because you're right, things have happened all very quickly.
Massively quickly.
Yes.
From nothing to look where we are, computers now.
Yeah.
Where did that brain come from?
That's right. Well, the stuff that's in your mobile phones, in here, my dad says that's alien technology.
Yeah,
we didn't invent that.
This is more powerful than a computer from the 70s.
That's what they say, yeah.
I know 2 rooms for computers from the 70s just in my phone.
That's right.
What, and somebody just come out their head, did it?
Yeah. Did you watch Get Back to the Moon landing? A funny thing happened on the way to the moon.
No.
Okay, so on that card there's some links and all that. Check out that one. A funny thing happened. It was a BBC documentary, and then it was an American reporter on there. He went interviewing all the astronauts and that. It's a fascinating one because they've got actual proof why we didn't go to the moon. Actual proof, and that's a BBC documentary.
Yeah, I've always believed since I was a child that we're being watched, but not by God, but by an alien force that is watching us and seeing what we're doing, and we're in an experiment.
Yeah.
We're just there, whatever.
Yeah.
We're their minions, because that's what a lot of history shows us. The people that were there were the minions of you.
See, I find that this is quite, on the street right now, in 5 minutes interaction, this is a hard one to swallow for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is, because...
Okay. But when I ask people, do you believe in your governments? That's an easy response.
No.
And I think, so well, how far do you think your governments will go keeping on lying to you?
Well, they've always lied to us.
They've always lied.
They've always lied to us. They're just the purpose of lying. That's all their job is. Line their pockets and lie.
That's right. I have always said they haven't got your interest at best. They haven't got mine. They don't care.
They've got their fingers in all the pies that are making the money.
Yeah.
They all know that. People think there's different. There's no difference to it at all.
Have you researched the money side of things as well, where it all comes from and how it's made? And
and it's like, the 1% that have 99% of everything,
all the wealth,
and the 99% have to share what's left.
Yeah.
But that's no different to how, when you look back at the gods thing or the alien thing, it's the same again.
Yeah.
Everybody had nothing, but a few had everything.
Yes,
So it's just a follow on, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's all we're here for.
Interesting.
It is. It's. Have you got your phone on you?
Yeah.
Take a couple of pictures.
Oh, my camera. Do you know what? My camera don't work.
Oh, right.
And I've got to be absolutely truthful with you. I'm not interested.
Well, you've got enough information to start with.
I'm not interested in the phones. I really dislike them. I have no Bluetooth on, no GPS system on it. I don't bank online. I do nothing like
Fantastic.
that. Because I don't believe in it. It's just another form of
Control.
Facebook watching you.
And control.
That's all it is. That's what Facebook is.
Yeah.
There's a huge government conspiracy. I mean, that is America's Central Intelligence, Facebook.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the world's Central Intelligence Unit now. Regardless of what anybody says, it's got face recognition built into it.
Yes.
People think, if I can't have that new app, if I can't have that on my phone, I won't buy it.
Yeah.
And that's why Trump's stopping Hawaii, or Hawaii, or whatever they're called, the Chinese.
Yes.
And Google and Facebook said they won't allow the app on it.
That's right.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, that's
so that
right.
they can't spy as much as the rest of the
And you got all of them in China as well. What's it with all the? Is it yellow jackets or something? Yellow hats. What's it? They're kind of like fighting against the facial recognition everywhere.
Yeah.
Smashing it all down.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't want it either.
Facebook is that's what Facebook is.
Yeah.
People just don't realise, do they?
No, I think you're quite right. Facebook is probably our new Speaker's Corner. That's what Speaker's Corner was invented for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep an eye on everyone.
No, people put what they had for dinner on there, where they're going and everything. The government's like, oh well, we don't have to watch them.
Yeah.
We've got face recognition. No, I think they're stopping that phone. Trump's stopping that phone purely because it would just give China exactly the same as Facebook's got and Google's got, and that the Western governments have got.
Yeah.
Total watchman, everybody.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No,
interesting.
it's really good interest. Nice
Thank
talking
you.
to you. Cheers. All right, everybody. Oh, God. Yeah, he's an enlightened chap. Very good. Enjoyed that.
Question to put to him. Should we ask him?
What's that?
Just a point. If the Earth is flat, why would we be lied to that it was? Why would we be lied to? What is the reason we would be lied to that the Earth is flat, not round?
I'll tell you why it's a difficult question. Because I haven't got a clue why it's different to I don't know why it's not as So you can tell me anything and it will be, are you lying or what? I don't know. So we have to ask people who are eventually if they support they want to make possible. I don't know. I can give you my ideas about it, which is maybe control, maybe more money, like I said, they make a million a day. I think he went to Antarctica, okay? So he went to Antarctica, went to the South Pole, and you can see him on YouTube, he's in a black and white interview, and he says when he got to the South Pole, he's seen an abundance of more land, was it bigger than America itself? He said there's more land to be discovered, and I think a couple of years later he's dead.
What about people that have crossed the Antarctica?
Well, that's the thing, no one's ever crossed the Antarctica. Let me finish. If you look at all the routes, they actually go to the South Pole and they'll do a left or they'll do a right. But no one ever goes over. That route has never been done. It's never been flown. Of all the explorers in the world and all the planes that we've got solar power planes that can go circumnavigate east and west, go right around there. But no one has ever gone south, north to south, ever. Check that one out for yourself.
So you've got the flatness there, right? I've been on boats many a time. And when you see a boat coming in the horizon, right, you only see the top half of it.
Yeah, it's because we don't understand compression and angular resolution. We were never taught that at school. They left that one out. So the atmosphere is quite thin up there, and then as you get down lower and lower and lower, it starts getting thicker and thicker. That's compression. So things start looking a little bit distorted and squashed, and that's why, a boat, a sun, anything in the distance, it gets squashed and squashed and squashed, and that's all to do with compression. But as we go higher, that angle increases, and then we can see over. That's called angular resolution.
Do you think the reason why it's flat and we're not being told about anything is because of money?
Oh, it could be one of the reasons. As I said, I couldn't possibly answer that one. It's one of the reasons, maybe, possibly.
So the moon landing was a hoax?
Yeah. Wait, well, what's your gut feeling on that? Because I believed it wholeheartedly 3 years ago.
I think my gut feeling is if I don't want to believe all of that, why should I believe anything else?
I don't know.
Why should I believe in things like modern medicine?
Okay, but what is that related?
Yeah, I think so.
What?
Just from not from a scientific point of view, but from a philosophical, contextual point of view.
We're just observing facts. That's all it is. I mean, I know
But I think other people could say quite easily the same about this.
Okay, could they?
Yeah.
So, what it is that if you go to Calais, you can see the White Cliffs of Dover, but you shouldn't be able to see it. There's a mathematical formula for. You'd accept that, would you? There is a mathematical formula for the roundness of Earth, the curvature drop.
I would agree that
It's only a few miles, isn't it?
It's actually 8 inches per mile squared. 8 inches. That's the chart there where he's on about.
10 miles,
So
I should see 54 feet drop. That's an awful lot of drop.
So basically, Calais, when you see Dover, you should see maybe a little bit of the peaks, but you shouldn't see it all, but you can. And then you've got, when you're on Blackpool on a good clear day, you can get your camera out and you can zoom in and see the Isle of Man. And there's loads of people that have done that. That's like 64 miles away, and you're not meant to see it. That's way over the curvature. That's like 2,500 feet over the curvature, but you can see it. You're not meant to see.
The Earth isn't actually spherical, it's more potato shaped, isn't it?
But how could they prove that to you and me? Where does that proof come from? We just have to believe, accept. Where does it actually come from?
But again, you do that in lots of things, not just this.
You're an adult, I'm an adult. I'm demanding proof now. You know, let's say gravity. I want proof that gravity exists. I think I should be entitled to it. I didn't realise it was a mathematical concept. That's all it is. It's just maths. They've never proved gravity.
Well, they haven't, but then they haven't. You are right. They haven't proved gravity, but then you know it's not rocket science to understand that if you throw an apple up in the air, it's going to come back down again. Something brings it down.
Could it be density and buoyancy? The fact that relative density? Could it be the fact that it's more heavier than around it, so it falls down?
But there are other things that they haven't proven. They haven't proven how bumblebees fly.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we've got an idea. It's to do with the vibrations or something. They're levitating.
Well, again, we have no idea.
But yeah, you're right. I don't think there's actual proof.
I did watch a YouTube video on this 2 or 3 weeks ago. And
What was it called?
I don't know, I can't remember, but I was watching it and then there was a few others underneath and I was just saying to you, my brother used to work he was in the RAF.
Yeah.
He flew lots of planes and then when he come out, as a treat, he went over to Russia to meet a few Russian pilots who had come out of retirement, so to speak, and they was all hanging around together having a drink and they was laughing at the video because they've been in the MiG-29s that go right up into and my brother wanted to go in one, but they wouldn't let him go in it.
They did. Who was it? It wasn't Clarkson. It was one of the. It was James May.
Yeah.
He went in one. Okay. And you see on the side, he's got his GoPro on the one side, he's got his GoPro on the other side, and you see the curvature of the air. And it's curvature. But then when he kind of tilts the other way, you see it inverts. The curve goes into concave. You know, and it's all to do with.
Well, the ones that they use on the MiGs in Russia, they fly that high up, but they freeze. They freeze the. They have to have.
80,000 feet high.
They freeze them, so they have to put heaters inside the GoPros to keep them so they can film it.
Right, that's interesting. No, I didn't know
that. It's cold up there.
But they are fisheye lenses on all GoPros. So any information that you get from it, because I've seen all of them videos, and yeah, you're right, it does look like a curvature, but that same curvature is actually on the tarmac.
So what would happen then if the Earth was flat? What happens? What's at the end of it?
I don't know. Is
What's
there an
your theory?
We don't know if there is an end. See, mainstream.
So
mainstream.
Your organisation are, I assume, currently funding to send an expedition out further.
Which organisation is that?
The Eric Dubé Flat Earth Society.
Well, we're not part of that. See that now I know where you got your information, little bits of it.
I didn't get any information.
Well, no, you just mentioned the word Flat Earth Society. I've been involved.
That's because, I only googled the name on Facebook.
I've been involved with Flat Earth about 3 years.
Sorry,
now.
Flat Earth group. Then.
Okay, but I've never met a Flat Earther that belongs to the society. That is a government-controlled website.
Not the society. Then.
Okay,
but on Facebook there is definitely
all he's done is a video. He's just done a great video.
Okay, but there is a group with 11,000 members on Facebook.
There's loads of Facebook groups.
Are you part of that group on Facebook?
I might be. I'm a part of probably about 50 different Facebook groups.
So I mean, the question still stands: whether it's that group or a different group, is there a fund being put together at the moment to
go to Antarctica
to do an expedition? Not Antarctica, beyond that.
There's a website called festart.co.uk. festart.co.uk, and on there's a video saying Antarctica, sorry, we're closed. You really need to watch that video, and it will open your eyes to know that you and me are never going to Antarctica.
I disagree.
Okay, well, I mean, people do go there, but they only go to the shoreline. They don't go. You don't have to go explore it off by itself.
What about in the South Pole?
They've got an Antarctic treaty in place, signed by 58 countries, to say that you can't go and I can't go. You can't take animals there. You can't take fuel there. So how can you explore?
I mean, but what does that allow you to go to the South Pole?
You can't explore it. You can't get the equipment to go there.
I mean, I have several friends that have gone to the South Pole.
Okay, and did they cross over?
Well, some of them did, yeah.
No, they didn't.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. They asked for their routes. I know they didn't. Because I've been researching for 3 years now, and I've not come across anything.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to score points, I'm not trying to win arguments and that. I'm telling you what I know, what I've learned so far, and then all we're saying to people, just go and do a bit of research yourselves.
It is interesting
to
listen
I will do.
to.
All right.
It is interesting to listen to. I mean, you know, what a fantastic theory. But like, you know, they say if you get lied to so often, and you take everything for granted, don't you?
It's governments. I mean, like, it's like who believes in what the government tells you now? I mean, like, you have to be. I mean, we are misinformed by the government so many times at so many different levels. All the wars that we were supposed to, go to and fight for moral reasons and that, and didn't turn out to be true. I mean, do you believe in your government's telling you the truth?
I mean, I think what you're doing there is pretty clever. I think that you're taking a point and using it to try and enforce a different point.
Yeah.
Which
I am.
Yeah. Which I think is a.
Because they are related.
I think it's a potentially misleading way of doing
it. But it is related. You know, our governments don't have our best interests. They're not telling us the truth. And our education and our science, it comes and stems from our governments. You know, like it's like, when was it that you believed in a globe? Thoroughly believed it. When you were a kid, 5, 6 years old?
Well, now too.
And then, what proof did we ever have that we live on the globe? At what point did we, come across any experimentation, any science?
But you're posing all of this as a scientific thing, but what you're talking about right now is more of a philosophical thing.
Well, I just want the proof. I'm an adult. I demand proof of where I live. But they're telling me I live on a ball. I think that we should have proof of that.
So if someone took you in a plane right now and said, right, I wish I could. If someone had a plane right now and said, right, we're going to take off from here, and here's the point of reference where we're coming from, we're going to fly all the way around the globe, and we're going to end up in the same spot.
Yeah.
Right? Would that take you for granted?
If I walk around you and pretend that you're north, and I walk around you east to west, you are not a ball, you're not a globe. All we're doing is go around the continents. That's all we're doing.
North to south.
So you've got north there, and south is in every direction, and east and west. That's how it is. So it works, going around east and west, around the continents, it works very well on a flat plane.
No. Where is east on there then?
Well, as I say, I mean, like...
He's saying that that's the top of the world.
So if that's north and south is in every direction, look.
So where is east?
Well, evolution is
East is relative to yourself.
So you're saying, okay, it's a relative direction.
No, well, as I say, I mean, like, this is the Cato map, and so if you leave that Sydney and you want to go to Santiago, all the flights, they all go that high up to north, and then they come back down again. Why? Why don't you just cross over? It's less petrol, less diesel. You'd think they'd want to save some money.
Well, I don't know.
But that is the flights. That's why we're confident putting this information here. We're confident because when you go home and all that, you kind of see, oh, right, Crazy Man on the Street was right on that.
I don't think I will.
There's no GPS in the Southern Oceans. There's nothing down there. It's you've got GPS when you actually cross land, and the second you get into the Southern Oceans and that, there is no GPS. It all disappears because GPS, it's land-based. It's just triangulation. That's all it is.
How do they rescue ships from the Southern Ocean then?
They've got I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But it's not GPS that you're using.
Okay.
Boats use GPS.
Sorry?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe shoreline ones, but when they go deep into the Southern Oceans, they lose.
But there are ships that get rescued from there. So how do they work out the location? Okay.
Do you know?
No.
I don't know at all.
I know for a fact.
Fact.
Well, again, because I'm part of I'm a training expedition leader, so I have lots of friends that go and do things like row around the world. And I have a friend that did row the Indian Ocean from Australia to Africa.
And you're saying that he used GPS that entire journey, do you?
No, not for the entire
I am interested now.
Not for the entire journey, no. What I'm saying is it took her 2 launches. It took her 2 attempts because there's very strong currents around that side of Australia. On her first attempt, she got washed too far south.
Right.
She ended up in the Southern Sea, which is a very dangerous place to be, and thus she called for rescue.
Okay.
And she was taken back to Australia.
Yeah. I mean, I know that they use other radio technology, radio beacons. I just forget what it is. I know they've got EPIRBs, emergency radio indicating beacon. I know they've got that, but that's not GPS. That's a different system. I I just don't know how that works. I mean, you're talking about going to Australia. What about planes? I mean, like, if Australia's on the other side of the Earth, the other side of the ball, so when planes are when they ascend to take off and then they fly level and then they descend, why aren't they dipping their nose all the way around the ball?
The Earth's big.
But they still got to dip their nose, otherwise after 5 miles they're going off into space.
No, because when a plane takes off, it automatically levels to the horizon of what it's on.
Okay, so the plane's level to its horizon, and then it's flying to its artificial horizon in the cockpit.
Yeah.
That's where it flies to, and then they click in the autopilot, and then it flies to that level all the way. So what is making it dip its nose?
When it flies on autopilot, it doesn't just fly in a straight line.
But it does.
It adjusts to the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
I mean, assuming you don't believe in gravity, then
so,
yeah, sure.
so because we know, if you go and speak to, if you go on YouTube and type in Walter Lewin, what's a very famous physics professor, he will tell you that gyroscopes are rigid in space and that are not affected by what he thinks is gravity.
I've seen that video.
You've seen that?
I've seen that video where he lifts up a weight and he swings it around his head.
Yeah.
I've seen that video, but then anybody can do that.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's what he says. They're not. It's not affected by gravity whatsoever, and that's all what's inside them artificial horizons in the plane. And I've done it myself. I've bought these are basically slightly different. It's not gyroscopes. They've got a MEMS device inside, and it works off inertia. But you can tip them up. You can put a little bobble there, and then if you go like that, you can see it invert. Now I did it. I got a 24-hour. I want to see how sensitive it was. I put it on a plug socket, 24-hour timer, and I watched it for 8 hours. I kind of like 12 hours, and then as I filmed it all in slow motion, and speeded it all up, and as it goes round, you can see it invert. Because you're expecting it to invert. But when you're going on a plane, and you take that on a plane, and if you go out from Scotland to London, from here to Australia, if you do that, it won't invert. It doesn't affect. How does being on a plane know the difference
because the
between
physics of gravity. That's why.
But that's it. These aren't affected by gravity.
No, but a plane will only go so when it goes so high up, right? So it's taken off, right? It's reached its altitude where it's comfortable with, I don't know, at 20,000 feet, right? And it starts flying. Obviously, if you turn the engines off, it ain't going to float there. It's going to nosedive down. So the computer knows the curvature of the Earth.
We've been researching this for 3 years, and they don't do any of that.
I mean,
that's the bit that you're going to find out when you go back.
I'm going to Google it.
You're going to Google that.
I mean,
that's great.
you're saying that. You're saying that we'll find this out when we go back.
Yeah. I'm not here to just win arguments or points.
That you've been doing your research for 3 years, which is fine. I'm sure you have been doing something for 3 years.
Would you say that the Earth, the moon's spherical then?
Yeah, it looks spherical. It does. It looks like it. I can't be 100% certain, but it does look like it.
So,
but why would? Well, I'm not suggesting for a second that we're a planet.
Why would we be flat and everything else be spherical?
So you don't think we're a planet?
Why aren't all stars and planets the same? There is heavenly bodies up there that are different from each other, and we just happen to be different from the planets and the stars. We're not the same.
That's quite a drastic difference.
Sorry?
It's quite a drastic difference.
But we don't know this. Only what NASA's fed us.
I mean, it's not just NASA. There are other space organisations around the world.
But it all comes through NASA.
Sure, they'd tell all pilots, if you was a pilot, they'd say to you, I'm going to let you into a big secret now. The Earth's not round. You know,
well, that's the thing. Lots of pilots are coming out and are speaking forward. This isn't just a couple of crazy people on the street.
No, I don't think it. I've read
are
this
waking
before.
up to this now.
I've read it. I've seen it on the internet. So I know.
It's a big thing now. It is. It really is.
The question I was going to ask is if I shouldn't believe this research they've been doing for many years, why should I believe your research that you've been doing for 3 years?
Because there is observable facts that you can actually check out for yourself. Number one is there has to be a mathematical formula. Okay, you would accept that. We'd all accept that. There'd be a mathematical formula for the curvature drop. Once you accept that, that is, and that's not. I didn't invent that. It's kind of like Pythagorean's theorem, spherical trigonometry. I didn't invent that. Okay, so I never heard of that before I got into flat Earth and that. So there has to be a drop. And if you go and see land that is like, I don't know, 50 miles away, I'm telling you now, you should be able to see it. I mean, if you go 50 miles away, 50 miles away there, the drop in feet is 1,667 feet. And so you shouldn't be seeing all of these cliffs, like that far away. But even in Tenerife, you can see all the islands in the distance when you go to Tenerife. So, people, keep your hands still. So these are things that you can check out for yourself. You know, land in the distance.
What about the sun setting?
Compression and perspective and angular resolution. If you research and look into them things, that's all it is. Basically, the sun is meant to be 93 million miles away. Okay, so we would never see it shrink or get bigger. We would never detect that whatsoever. It's just too far away. And yet, when it appears that the sun is setting, we can actually see it getting smaller. You know, like you can put, you can film it and then put it on your computer and you can count the pixels, and it shrinks, and we should be seeing that.
And so, how do you account for then the heat? You think it's a lot cooler or what?
From the sun?
Yeah.
Well, it's radiative heat. We're not feeling direct heat now, are we? That's radiative heat.
Okay.
That is interacting with our molecules and that.
It would still change with distance.
Yeah, that's right. But we're not saying for a second that the sun is as big as what they're saying. What
So
they
you
say,
think
they
it's
say it's about
so you
400
think it's
times
smaller?
bigger. It's a lot smaller and it's a lot closer, a lot more local. You know, because when we look up, we see the moon and the sun. They appear to be about the same size, don't they? That's because they are the same size and they are much closer to us. I would say, and I don't know, I'm just spitballing, approximately about 3,000 miles.
Okay.
You know,
So.
That's interesting, isn't it?
there's a lot more. I could be here for hours and days. And you can't believe me in the street after a 10-minute conversation. It's not possible. Yeah, you can't. You accept that. You know, I just hope that there's enough there for you to want to investigate it further. That's all I'm hoping for.
Well, I was on two things on, you know, when you're bored and your wife's at work, so you start Googling shit and looking at stuff. So I was looking at that, and then the next one I come on to, the guy who went out with the gyroscope.
Yes.
He actually, in his other videos, he actually goes on to the inventions of Tesla and all the rest of it, the flying machines that don't use, and they've got a video of some guy, I don't know if you've watched it, he's in Russia, and he's in this chariot. Right, and you have to look at it. I look at it 4 or 5 times.
For levitation?
Yeah. I have never. Honestly,
it does look hard.
Bullshit.
Because you've just seen the new one where he crosses the channel. I take it. You seen the guy who crosses the channel?
On a jetpack.
On a drone.
Right. No.
He crosses the channel. It's
No,
fantastic.
this is a chariot, and it's old. It's like 50s.
It's like 50s,
It's like Denier, and it's like a roller coaster ride, and he's just stood in it. There's nothing underneath him. There's no propulsion.
And it doesn't look like CGI.
There's no jet. There's no CGI because it's too old. And he's flying through the trees.
Yeah, it is
so
hard.
if there was a helicopter above him, and there was a wire, then fair play because I can't see it.
Right.
And he's zooming through.
And I'm with you at that point because my gut reaction says bollocks. It can't be real, but it does look exceptionally.
It's interesting that you say it doesn't look like CGI.
Yes.
When a lot of your arguments are based on the fact that everything we've seen is CGI.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's it.
No, it's interesting. Like I would love to find CGI'd images of non-planets, things that are clearly, and then do a compare and contrast with you. So see.
Do any work today?
Spot what CGI is.
So the sort of stars there, that's taken from like a P900. And that's not what we were taught. Like stars are trillions and trillions and quadrillions of miles away. Okay, but if you zoom into them, you can actually focus in on stars, and they look like lights that are in maybe water. With frequencies? You know, they look like plasma. You know, all different colours and all that, and you can focus in on them. You can see them dancing around and that. And they're spectacular stars, but they're meant to be trillions and quadrillions of miles away. And I don't know if you've ever heard that we've got more stars than every grain of sand in the earth.
I've heard that.
Okay, so if that's the case, and light travels, and you've got stars behind stars behind stars behind stars, wouldn't our skies be white?
Not if they're that far away, they wouldn't know.
Well, but light travels forever, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, but that's why you can only see with the human eye. That's why they discover more stars with radio telescopes and stuff like that. They can see them.
But if light's travelling, if we can see a star's like a trillion miles away, then that light's travelling all the way here.
A big star, isn't it?
It presumes that you can see the full spectrum of light.
Okay.
Do you believe in like a spectrum of light, i.e. like rainbows?
Yeah, well, yeah, you can see that, can't you?
Okay.
It's not do I believe. I mean, like, yeah, I've seen the rainbow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there's things that we should question that we did, that we took it on a belief and.
But why are you only questioning this one?
Well, I'm not questioning lots of things. I'm just here talking
like
about
modern medicine and.
Yeah, well, I would say big pharma kind of like stitching people up.
Okay.
Yeah, just in it to make money. You know, like certain drugs that are over here that are, I don't know, £100, and you go into other countries and they're like £3. You know, like it's not very fair what Big Pharma is doing. I actually believe that they've got all the cures for cancer. There's no big deal about cancer, and yet they're keeping it away because they don't make money about you getting well. They make money by keeping you ill. You know, I do believe that. But you know, I've seen far too many people get well, you know, with cancer.
Okay. It just strikes me as bizarre, because I mean, if you're going to start going down the rabbit hole of putting everything sort of contextually, then you know you're going to just start believing in nothing.
I think, well, no, I believe in quite a lot of things, but you know, like I didn't realise that there is a lot of conspiracies in this world, that we've kind of like been indoctrinated to kind of think that the word conspiracy is shared with, oh, that guy's a nutter. You know, and it's not. I mean, like, there is a lot of conspiracies that are real.
So we better do some work.
All right, I'm ready.
We know each other, so I'm kind of faking that I don't know.
Well, it seems to be picking up a bit. Oh, so we got Robin and Sam's here. A couple of conversations. I think because it's getting later in the day, people are slowing down. But oh God, I don't know if you guys can hear me that well. You know, it's so bloody noisy with this lorry here. But yeah, it's going okay so far. It's great to have Robin with us. Don't forget, if you haven't seen Robin's channel, get yourself over to Liftin The Lid. And don't forget, he's doing Robin's doing a convention, the UK convention. It'd be great to see you there. Come on, guys. I want you to all not just support this. You know, like we're in this together. You know, we're all globe deniers, stroke flat earthers, wherever you want to call yourself. But we're in it together. This.
I've seen cats talking. Surely there should be some interest in this, because this is so profound. How can you not think it's interesting? Everything else is round. All the other planets are round, aren't they? You can see them. Look at the telescope, you can see them.
Well, supposedly.
What do you mean supposedly? You can look up, you can see them. They're round.
It appears round, yeah. But the thing is, like, we're told that the so-called planets are what the Earth is, and that's a presumption because we've been told that.
Yeah,
we don't know that really.
Okay, we look up, we see the other things going round are round. When you get an eclipse, you can see the shape of the Earth shadowed on the moon. It's round. Everything else in nature is round.
Well, I mean, not everything in nature. I mean, flowers and there's trees. There's all different.
No,
you know, like
round. Nothing's flat.
That's what we're taught.
You tell me something that's flat in nature.
So, well, the thing is,
No,
like,
on,
as far as we observe,
flat.
okay, as far as we observe, there are surfaces. It depends to what degree you're looking at it. You know, so as far as we can observe, there doesn't appear to be curvature from what we observe.
No, you're going back.
Okay.
I'm saying that nothing in nature is flat.
But getting back to the planets thing, you know, you said about the planets and you said about the eclipses. Okay, so we're told that those things are planets. We don't, to be honest, we don't know what they are because the ancients knew them to be wandering stars. That's what the ancients called them. In fact, the word planet means wandering star, and I think it comes from Greek.
Semantics now. I mean, words are just what we.
Come on, guys. I want some more flat things in nature. Come on.
They are up there.
Right. Okay.
They are round.
Yeah.
You can see them.
Yeah,
So
but
why
even so, we're assuming that is something that is terrestrial when that is an assumption. Because, to be honest, when you look at the so-called planets, to be honest, they don't look any different. They don't look much different from stars to me.
Well,
And even when you look at them, and even when you look at them close up, they're lights. They look like lights. And so we're assuming that is an actual physical terrestrial body, and we're told that these terrestrial bodies are bigger than the Earth, a lot of them.
It's all blind faith,
And
isn't
yeah,
it?
well, the thing is, it is blind faith. You're right, because we're trusting space agencies to tell us what these things are, and we don't know what they are.
But we can look at them and see them.
You can see something, but until you actually get there yourself, I mean, the thing is, in order to get there, you'd have to get through a vacuum of space.
Like they've been to the moon and looked back at the Earth.
And you'd have to get through a pressurised system.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, you get to the moon.
You'd have to, yeah.
Oh, didn't that happen either?
No.
Oh, right.
Basically,
I've got to go. I've got to get to work.
here you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
no, it's a load of bullshit, sorry.
Never mind, Lisa. I was going to put in there and say, what's it? Lots of people say water, water is flat, and but I was just waiting for the counter argument to that to say, like, well, little molecules of water are round, but so. Yeah, you're quite right. Everybody, you're quite right. You all won that one. Water, and flat. Well done, Lisa. Enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Look at these guys. They're having a go.
Where's Mark Sargent?
There's like a whole PhD study on flat Earth, really goes into it, quite scientifically. ODTTV, very good.
The lads have got some questions. They're interested.
Yeah, talk about satellites.
Yeah, very good.
And all that stuff.
Even Eric Day is probably one of the best one. He really looked.
It'd be nice to go away and dig a bit more, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
100. Yeah. They just had a few questions. They even stood there for a while. So
Yeah, you thought you love it, guys. And how do you feel when you talk to people? Does it come across naturally, or
pretty naturally. Yeah.
you don't feel like, no, what's good? Have I got the answers or not?
I feel a little nervous to begin with, but once you start talking to them, you
Close.
it comes out.
And then if you've done enough research, you've got enough answers there, it should get easier and easier.
I feel like I've got enough answers to answer a lot of people's questions.
Well, a little tip, okay? When you don't know something, just look them in the eye and say, I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
And never be afraid of saying that, because so many people I've heard, they just want to bullshit an answer.
Yeah.
Like, no, tell them you don't know. You can't be ashamed. You can't know everything.
No, exactly.
We're not walking encyclopedias of disinformation.
Yeah.
All right, it's been a really good day so far. It was a very slow start.
Well, I watched the live stream yesterday when you were in Campton. It was quite quiet down
It was
there,
really
wasn't it?
quiet,
Yeah,
but we had some good quality talks though.
Yeah, I saw. With that one guy who's getting into with the beards.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed Campton yesterday, even though it was really quiet. And
but it's sort of nice to have those little one-on-one sessions sometimes.
Yeah, you have a longer interaction, don't you?
Yeah, today's a good one. A lot of people walking past, a lot of people interested.
Well, at first, honestly, I could see everyone walking past with their heads down and just scooping across.
You should stand there and if you see, you should clap. Make a loud noise, get in the jump up. Look.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, good day so far. Been enjoying this. Really good. Remind me your names again, because I'm terrible.
David
and
Ryan.
I was going to say Kieran or something. So we've got David and Ryan here. You can all remind me that later.
It's all right. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's very at the top of the guys who are working here. He's very open-minded, the butcher.
The butchers,
He is open-minded, but the other guy over there is so close-minded. He seems.
Yeah, well, I saw him looking over. I knew he was going to come over at some point. I was watching him. He kept looking up over. I was like, oh.
Heavily indoctrinated. Part of an exploration team or something that he's.
Yeah, I've got one friend whose uncle does programming for satellites, so he's just like, yeah, satellites are real. But
David, of course, I love the chalk, but I love it when you do the chalk, and I can't wait until Howard George gets on board, because he's going to be chalking everywhere. But look at this great ground, it's fresh, it's just for you. Look at that. Dave, you should be here with us. You could have chalked this place to death. I didn't have a chance to talk to you before. So you are a globe denier?
Oh yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. I'm a lots of things denier. I don't want to go on.
No.
Yeah. So really cool to find you. interviewing Peter yesterday. Yeah.
It's just so the mic will pick you up. Yeah. Oh, brilliant. But you didn't find us.
I didn't know any time, so I thought I'd pop to one, and then I drove to the other, and then back again. And I called in here on the way home. I found you.
It was absolutely dead there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a nice day, all the same.
It was quality interactions. You know, like we only had a few, but there was quality interactions, and that makes a big difference really, because you can spend a lot more time talking.
Distractions?
Yeah, no distractions. Here with all this noise, it's a bit difficult. I've seen you talking to the other guys over there before. Resistant or open-minded?
Me?
The two guys that you're talking to.
They were obviously curious because they've been stood there for 15 minutes, and I said to them, well, I'm just going to go over there and talk to them.
Right.
Because none of you were free, so we did, and then I said, come on over a bit and support me if you want to. So we had a chat. So yeah, it's similar questions that we all do. Why don't you fall off the edge and things like that. So
yes,
I repeat the things that Mark Sargent, Geronism would say, and all the stuff that makes sense to me now.
Yes.
On the snow globe, as far as we know, but we don't know either.
Yeah.
I just know it's not a spinning. Well, I'm pretty
right,
sure it's
that's all. That's the main thing. We know we don't live on a ball.
Yes.
Okay, so we're in agreement there. We don't live on a ball. We haven't got a clue what it is. We've got ideas, and I think you should be allowed to talk about them ideas, just not preach them ideas. You know, talk about them. It's fine. You know, but to tell everyone that you know when you don't know. I think that's what we're all learning, because I think when I first got into this, I think I might have gone out and preached things like that, because I was preaching, I knew for certain that was Earth, the flat Earth map. I was certain of that because I was told it was that. So you come out of one belief system, and then I got thrown into, this flat Earth belief system, and thought, now they're teaching me it's this. And then it took a little while to realise that no, that is useful as an example of how north and south works, and it's difficult. We don't know where we are.
Just look at what evidence there is.
Yes.
From old civilizations, from the Bible, and from our own senses, we're supposed to have a look around and feel whether we're spinning.
Yes. Yeah.
It's changed my life though.
And how long have you kind of known?
I would say just under 2 years.
Right, okay.
It seems such a lot longer than I feel like I've known forever.
It really is. It's kind of weird for me. It feels like that it's gone on for a long time now. I think that's when my wife actually tells me it's gone on for a long time.
None of the upside that people in Australia made sense in buildings going horizontal. None of that ever has made sense since I was a boy. I've just never heard any of this, so I didn't know anything else.
Yes.
But once I started listening to people like Skiba and Mark Sargent, something clicked.
Yeah.
And I've never been.
So you went the Mark Sargent way. That clicked with you. I went the Eric DeBay way.
It was Eric DeBay. That was the first one.
He was your first.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it puts you onto Geron and Mark Sargent, but I like those.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Mark Sargent came 2 or 3 weeks later. But then once I heard, what was he? He says that at the opening. This is a joke, right? Yeah, it has to be a joke. I agree. Yeah.
Looking into the Disney stuff, that's what started it all off. The subliminal stuff in Disney years ago.
Yeah.
And then every now and again, something about Flat Earth will pop up. You keep dismissing it, and I listen to that.
Yeah.
Slowly, I listened to somebody who I respected on YouTube regarding other conspiracies to do with 9/11, I think it was. And he also believed in the Flat Earth, so I had to listen because I respected him, and then that's when it started making sense. To me.
Yeah. No, it's
So I spread the word.
What makes you want to spread the word? You're out here now, you're spreading the word. Someone asked me this yesterday. What drives me? Why do I want to come out and talk to people and spread that word? So what?
It's so much bigger than... It's the lie of it all, the fact we're lied to. I've got young children, they're going to be lied to.
Yes.
And that doesn't sit right with me.
Okay.
It doesn't sit right with me that I've been lied to. It doesn't sit right with me that they're hiding a creator from us.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, I say designers, creators.
Yes, yeah.
Don't know. Yeah. But it's but I do accept that there's something more. There is something else. Yeah, no, I don't I don't go for the Big Bang or creationism or anything like that. That just seems nonsense.
Okay.
You know, it makes so much more sense that there is somebody, lots of people, one singular. I don't know. It makes more sense.
A designer.
Designers.
It's not by accident.
It's not by accident. That's right. Yeah, because I think someone made an analogy of the complexities of inside a pip of an apple. You know, like, and they say that didn't come together by accident.
Explosion. No.
Yeah.
I think it's important once people realise something's not quite right, change their way of thinking about a lot of things. Because you can go around just believe in everything you read, everything you hear, everything you see.
Well, I did, because I did believe in not one conspiracy. I believe that 9/11 was, well, that was okay. It was, of course, the mainstream narrative. I believe that wholeheartedly. I didn't know any of this.
So that didn't come before this then?
No, none of it. No. I was researching, what's it, Free Man of the Land sort of thing.
Yeah, that guy who's, what's his name, John?
It was Dave, Dave Murphy. Allegedly Dave,
yes.
But also it was, I think Darren Nesbitt was doing some of it as well. I think he was.
It's a guy who's died now, and he was really.
That's right.
Really
yes.
Nice, humble.
Yeah.
That's where I listened to the Straw Man.
Yeah, and the Straw Man.
Yes.
That was a huge film for me. That was.
Yeah.
You know, that taught me a hell of a lot. Are you guys going?
It's all right. Might start being here somewhere again. Yeah. So let's take care. Yeah. Good luck. Take care.
Thank you very much. See you soon.
Good luck with the rest. Yeah.
Sunny day.
What time are we?
I've got 2 hours. I'm guessing I've got to get back from mine and then find my way through traffic.
No, I've got to get back. Oh, the traffic is terrible here.
Motorway. Yes. I came from Devon. So I got off in Wellington. I live in Gloucester. I went down to Devon to see you lot.
Oh, right. Oh, so did you stay the night there?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell.
I stayed
in the ring or go
I didn't have any way, but no, so I often go to Devon and just stay over for the night just to get away from the summer. Yeah, I was happy. I stayed in Campton.
Oh, no! Because that's where I live.
Are you serious?
Oh,
really?
I live in Paynton.
No way.
Yeah.
So I slept in the back of my
Well, I live
car.
in Malden, just at the top. Yeah.
So I parked my car just up from the harbour.
Okay.
And in the back of my car, extra blankets in there.
No.
So I got a view of the harbour.
You could have jumped in the camper, stayed the night. You could have even camped on one of the couches. I wouldn't have minded.
No. Yes, yes, I can do.
Oh, it's such a shame. Didn't meet you yesterday.
Painting 5 times a year.
Well, if you're ever around Paynton again, you'll have to what's it
It's nice to find other people.
Yes. And have you met many other globe deniers, flat earthers? What do you call yourself? Are you a globe denier or flat earther? Or don't you label yourself?
I like the globe denier.
Okay, I like
when
that.
you say flat earther,
It's a triggering word, and it kind of like loaded for an argument.
So I like the globe denier.
I do. I was very resistant at first. I felt like, no, I'm a proud flat earther. I have my rhinoceros thick skin, and to hell with you all. I don't care. But yeah, no, I was convinced that no, you're kind of like, you can't get past a good discussion. But if you just go straight in and say that you're a flat earther, I agree. You know, like to get past all of that and beat the censoring from YouTube. You know, all the, you know. So if we say that, you know, like this whole tour, it's about Research Globe Lie. We don't really mention flat Earth. You know, let's get past it.
And I think I might start doing that myself rather than mentioning the word flat Earth.
Yes.
Globe Lie.
Yeah, no, it's
like the sound of that.
yeah, difficult change for me. It has been. Been resistant on that for about a year. Was it Roxanne the Globalist Denier? Yeah, she's been trying to get me to do that for about a year. Say no, do what you want. I don't care. I'm doing it my way. Because I'm on my flat Earth journey. It's my journey. This is my story. You know, like whatever you believe in and whatever you want to do, that's your journey. You do whatever you want. You know, like I am an individual, but there's certain things that make sense. Globe denier. I'm now comfortable being a globe denier now.
What Darren says is that some of us have just what we do know, or what we do believe in is that we don't want to spin the ball.
And that's what matters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
but I think we'll be wrapping up now. Where can I get together with other people?
Yeah, so you live in Gloucester.
Meetings in Bristol, don't we?
So you do meetings in Bristol. There's a meeting in Birmingham, Hales Owen, Birmingham. And I think Dolly's going to be doing them now, maybe a bit more regular in Manchester. There's also meetings in London as well.
It's all fairly local.
No, we always do, I mean, not while the tour's on, but we always do Speaker's Corner at the end of the month in London, Speaker's Corner at Hyde Park, which is a fantastic kind of day. But I'd say that won't happen. The next one that will happen will probably be end of November. That'll be the next one, I would think. I mean, there might be one or two people that do go there, but you just got to keep looking out on YouTube and that and seeing when.
The Kidderminster box came up, and then this popped up with it.
Yes.
I took photos on my phone.
Yeah.
I like Devon.
Yeah.
So,
Will I get to see you at Kidderminster? Can you make that one?
On the Sunday, because it'd be great to see Mark Sargent.
Yes. All right.
So, yeah, I was thinking
Do so. You get yourself down there. Yeah. Because even if it's just a Sunday night, you know, like at least you can pick up, swap numbers. It's about meeting people
That's
and
what
that.
I thought about this. I just get to see some faces and
Yeah.
make yourself known.
Yeah.
And it's nice, isn't it, that you don't feel so alone out there.
Yeah.
Frustratingly alone.
Yeah.
Trying to explain to people.
Have you brought this into work life, into family life, and?
Yeah, people do. Yeah, family life and friends.
Yeah.
They're all okay with it.
Oh right, you still have a family. Very good.
Yeah. They respect me, and my children are taking things on board. I think they respect that I'm not a complete nutter. I just believe in all this.
But you're not led because you're having your own convictions.
I do it through research. It's not just because I'm a rebellious person. Nothing. So I think they respect that I believe it. And
wow, that's brilliant.
So and I think that's a good thing. And it's helped them to look into things and see things differently too.
I hope my family are watching this, and please listen, take notice. I'm not a crazy dad.
But you know, I never have my boy, my 4 or 5-year-old boy, he's going to school only telling his teachers when my dad says it's not a spinning ball. My dad says we didn't come from London. My dad says so.
Brilliant.
I've got to, I'm going to have all this to come.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But hey, that's all part of it.
Yeah.
Make a difference.
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, I like that.
I'm going to take a few of these. Can I give you them?
Yeah, we are struggling, but do cheers, everybody. There you go, and I'm struggling now to think what his name was. Can someone just type in what his name was? I am so bad with names, sorry.
Not bad at all, mate. You alright?
Yeah. No, I've enjoyed that. Where's Sam gone?
I think the chat room love the cheese. So you've got to film the cheese, mate. My stream's just died. My battery's gone.
Oh, so they like that, do they?
Yeah.
Alright, very good. Yeah, no,
sorry guys, my battery's gone now. I knew I should have packed a charger, but
it happened to me yesterday. I think I got excited doing my 1,000 miles an hour spin.
Yeah,
and then
unplugged.
I dislodged my cable and then I lost my power.
I meant to pack it, but I got up at 5 this morning. Got in, walked the dog at 12.
Yeah.
After 12, had to bomb out. Forgot the charger. We had some good.
Yes.
Nice to see some people out.
Oh, so we've had 2 lots that have seen us online and they've come out to see us.
Is that right?
Yeah, well, like what's it? Yeah. Ryan. Oh no, not Ryan. Yeah, Ryan and his dad. His dad.
I'm sorry,
Dave. I'm terrible. I am. I can't.
I needed Doc Michael to remind me in the chat.
I've been asking people to. Please, people, you got to write all of these names down, please, and then pass them on to me later. I'm terrible.
Yeah. So we had a shopkeeper, mechanic, who has clearly been challenged by all the proofs, willing to admit 9/11 was an inside job, the moon landings were an inside job, climate change could well be just the Earth
too far?
moving.
Too much?
This was a step too far. But we quickly answered all his questions, and he said some of them were good. I think some of them he needs to go away and have a think about. But those are the guys I want to catch because they're clearly engaged mentally.
Yeah.
And I spoke to 2 young guys. They had humility to ask good questions. They took a few red pills and walked off. Yeah. And then we had a young 3 where the guys young man's very switched on.
Yes.
Doesn't really care either way. Which, to be fair, I was like that age 18. Couldn't get me with something like this age 18. I don't think.
No, right. Yeah, no, I
don't think so.
I don't think I would have been interested.
But other than that though, Ryan was, because he was 16 when his dad shared it.
Yeah. Well, there was Colin's son. Do you remember Colin? Who was with us?
Yes.
And his son was really switched on.
Okay.
I think his name was David, I think it was.
Okay.
He was fantastic. So he was like 14, 15. You know, like, and really knew his stuff.
Imagine how your life would change if you knew this age 14.
Yeah.
Changes everything though, doesn't it? Changes your values, changes your friendship groups, changes what you put your attention on.
You'd have a totally different outlook on life right now.
Yeah.
Your life wouldn't resemble the same.
It changes what you're willing to accept and put up with. It changes what you're willing to fight for. Because otherwise, you're fighting for pretty mundane stuff, but this gets you out of bed in the morning, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it does.
Yeah, that's the guy who's committed himself to
it. It does on the tour. It really does get you out of bed. Yeah, I'm just having so many obstacles thrown at me for.
Well, fair play, and my heart goes out to you, mate, for your father.
That's okay, thanks. Yeah, that'd be the first thing. What time are we now?
We're 20 to 4. Okay. 25 to 4.
Right, so about time, as we said, we need to be kind of wrapped up by 4. And
okay.
Yeah. So let's go and have a look at the cheese, eh? Let's have a look at some cheese. Have a look what the guys are. This is in Bridgwater, don't forget. So if you're feeling a bit peckish.
How long have you been doing this? About 5 months.
All right.
Myself personally, the business has been running for 10 years.
Right. That is a phenomenal amount of cheese there, and yeah, if you're feeling peckish, are you here every Friday? Is it?
With the exception of the first Friday of the month, yes.
Right. Every Friday except for the first Friday of the month, I think he said. Does that cheese not go off in all this sun? And
it will do. It's okay.
Right.
Should be a cooler.
Right.
We don't think it's a sphere.
Hiya, Jin. Glad to see you've made it. I think you were in the chat yesterday for briefly.
On the TV. Never read a text.
And I just noticed. Hello there, Roxanne.
So, can I give you a couple of challenges about the moon? Well, if I gave you a single challenge, how did Nixon make a phone call to a Buzz Aldrin on his landline in 1969? Does it not at least give you a little bit of a
I mean, like, how does this concern me if the Earth is flat or curved?
Well, I was just saying to Jason and Sam, it changes an awful lot because, well, your reality is different. Science, we have to now sift and sort through science a bit better. We might live in a design space which points to a creator. We'd certainly have a different view on governments.
But I thought God was dead.
Say again?
I thought God was dead.
Who said that?
Nietzsche.
Well, that's a philosopher, isn't it?
Yeah, but
so,
God is dead.
Well, that's a viewpoint. It doesn't mean it's the truth. But I'm not here to preach the gospel. I'm just saying, if we had a physical reality around us, how would we test for a globe? How would you test?
Astrology, using light and physics.
So, and how would you do that with astrology?
Using like maths and build up from there. Using Einstein's
theory
of relativity and physics that Newton discovered, and then just build up proof.
Do you know what the scientific method is?
Yeah, you have a hypothesis,
yeah,
which you theorize to be a thesis as a truth,
yes,
which was actually developed by Hegel back in the 1600s. and then you test that such hypothesis
Yes.
in the observation, which is derived from empiricism.
Well done, yeah. So
And then you take the two of the hypothesis and the observation via results in the methods to see whether your original hypothesis was met.
would you agree you need an independent variable and a variable?
Yeah.
So what's the independent variable for a gravity test? That's a trick question because there is
Light.
How are you?
Light does not subject to gravity, though.
So if I ask the top scientists in the land, what's your definition of gravity? Do you know what they would say?
An attraction between two objects.
But isn't that the old Newtonian gravity, which is superseded by Einstein's gravity?
Yeah, but Einstein still said that two objects are like attracted to each other.
Listen, I really respect your knowledge, and I'm not trying to be provocative. I'm trying to suggest that a thesis and a theory, if we're to accept it as solid science, we need experimentation.
It's not solid science.
It's a theory.
It's a theory.
So if we need to test and prove the theory to see it bears witness in reality. So if I said to you, I have a theory that the Earth may not be curved, and my experiment would be to look over a body of water and shine a laser, or get an eyewitness test. I know with a camera like the guys have got here that we can see over 100 miles away, point to point on water's level, and I shouldn't be able to see the coastline 100 miles away. In fact, it should be hidden behind more than Ben Nevis with a curvature.
Well, the Earth is a complete circular and spherical.
But how many straight lines does it take to make a circle, mate? Because
I mean, circles are like as if they're infinite. No, they're not technically a real thing. Circles are merely comprised of a bunch of infinitesimal straight lines.
The thing is, there are thousands of observations like this. In fact, the top 10 US states equate to 886,000 square kilometers, and they're all known to be really flat. That's the top 10 US states in size are known to be really flat, and I can point to good sources that would show you that. All I'd say is the boats shouldn't be able to see the lighthouse at 50 miles.
Okay.
They should be behind over 3,000 feet of curvature, and yet all ships can see that lighthouse 50 miles away, wherever you are.
Isn't that because it's positioned highly, so that regardless of the situation at the bottom, with potential high waves, you can still see such light?
I know what you're trying to do, because I do the same. I'm trying to justify what I know to be true, i.e. a globe, and make it fit. But what I'm saying is, I can see things, and so can loads of people online. I'm talking millions of people, not just one or two. We can see things too far.
Okay. Do you guys get paid for this?
No, I've taken highly paid days off to do this.
How much do you value your time per hour?
More than you'd imagine.
So £100 per hour, you value that?
Maybe a bit more than that.
So how long have you guys been out here for?
Just today, I've been here a few hours.
So you've lost it, okay. In time. You lost the K. Okay.
I drove from London this morning, where I started the day in Bristol.
So you
I've
lost
done
even more than
5.5 hours of driving to do one meeting to come back here. This is really important to me.
What's the long-term benefit of you guys doing this?
Well, if I find one guy who then affects 1 million people because he's a genius at YouTube and social media, then I've effected mass awakening to this. The thing is, it is a mass awakening.
How do I profit off this?
You don't. Well, there is no business model. There is no business model in Flat Earth that's going to pay decent money. Because YouTube is highly censoring it right now. It's downgrading all the content. If you try Flat Earth in YouTube today, the top 10 pages would be all the debunking sites. Why would they do that when it's so harmless?
So there's no way I can make money off this?
I can try and brainstorm a bit with you, but it's tough, mate, because all the platforms are censoring it. So what we'd normally perceive as good algorithmic.
But I mean, like,
business.
if you think of like SpaceX, right? Elon Musk's company, right? He makes money off of that.
He should have put the logo on the car, right? But think about the car. It's a car with tyres and valves and pressure, and it went into the thermosphere. Do you know how hot the thermosphere is?
Are you sure it's made out of like actual tyres, or is
He
it
said
just
it's a normal car. He told you it came off a production line.
Okay.
Do you know how hot the thermosphere is?
Very hot.
So how's a car going to survive out there, guys?
Well-built materials.
Bit the same way that we believe that Nixon made a phone call on his landline. We believe the reality we're presented by the mainstream.
How much of this could be caused by the Jews?
That's a very provocative question. I'm not going to go there.
Because if, all right,
I'm
sorry,
not
we're
going
going to have to end the question because Israel has no right to exist, and the Jewish population should be exterminated.
That's
Thank
a really
you.
strong point of view. Fair play. Yeah, see you later, mate. Triggered. We hit the button. Nowhere to go with Elon Musk's car.
Yeah, so he thought it shut down the argument.
He couldn't. Well, no, he couldn't. He couldn't take it where it needed to go for him.
So that's it. Let's shut it down.
It's good though, because his intelligent and gentle friend is really paying attention.
Yeah.
He seemed a really nice guy.
Right. Okay. On that note, guys, I think we're going to end this. Let's get a little bit quiet, and we've got some long driving to do. I've got to get back, say hello to my dad. Hopefully, all's okay, and then get myself off to the Isle of Wight. So, say goodbye to
thanks
Robin.
for tuning in, everyone, and thanks to Sam and Lisa.
Yeah.
Thanks. Teamwork equals dreamwork.
So I hope you got a good picture of you lot. All right, guys.
Thanks, Jason. Well done, mate.